G'day everybody, it's Dave from Wing Chun Mind Force. Having a bit of a holiday with the family at the beach, and so I'm away from my dummy. So this video is going to be about something fantastic I read. It's an interview with Sigong Chu Shong Tin, called An Interview with Chu Shong Tin by Daryl Jordan. And it went into a book that Daryl Jordan wrote called The Sound of Wing Chun, the Grand Masters and Masters, compilation of interviews with 4 Grand Masters and 5 Masters of the Wing Chun system. So I'm not going to read the whole interview, but you can find it at www.earlswingchun.com. Easy way to find it. I'll put the link below. That's Kevin Earl, one of our most senior Wing Chun practitioners from New Zealand. A good bloke. Earls is E-A-R-L-E-S, and then Wing Chun. That's the wing and the chun, the way we normally spell it, .com. So getting back to the interview, he was asked, what are the differences in Wing Chun that made you decide to learn it? That means the differences from Tai Chi. And Sigong said, to my understanding of Tai Chi at the time when I was learning it, the theory of Tai Chi is how to slide away oncoming force and how to find the opponent's weakness. You have to keep picking and picking for some time before you can find the opponent's weakness, and then send an attack, which means they are not in tract or in one theory. Not sure what that means. The difference in Wing Chun is that you have a whole set complete. One button contains everything. That's exactly right. One key, a complete set of distinct solutions for the situation that you're at the moment of contest. You don't have to wait for somebody to come and attack you and then do something, or wait until they are out of guard to do something else, or off, you could say off guard. Wing Chun is all in the condition you can apply it. Whereas in Tai Chi, you have different techniques for different situations. And that's something that I've found amazing about Wing Chun, because I'm a little bit slow. When I was young, I did a lot of boxing, and I was always taught, when he does this, you do that. If he slips under here, you go here. And when I did karate, taekwondo, there was a lot of those, if he does this, you do that, and then you do this. And sometimes it'd be several steps, and I'd be going, I just couldn't seem to remember. I like acting on instinct in life. And when I discovered the way Wing Chun works, I thought, now this is an art for me, because I don't have to have a pre-formed set of things to do. I just slam them, basically. I just give them everything and don't stop giving them until they give up or they're down on the ground. So Sigong is then asked, could you tell us, in your opinion, what the essence of Sil Nim Dao is? So Sigong Chu Shong Tin, Grandmaster Chu Shong Tin, said, Sil Nim Dao, of course, is the first fist form of the Wing Chun style, and it has all the fundamental movements you can see. And it can use the least strength if you do it right. You can apply a blocking technique without exerting strength at all. Which means if your opponent is exerting strength onto you, if you apply the technique right, or your body construction is correct, you can defend yourself by diminishing the oncoming force without exerting force of your own. And that's something I often talk about, is going in. I was saying that about the dummy. The first thing you do as they exert force on you, as they attack you, you just mentally take their force in so there's nobody there. And really, you just have to be in yourself, like empty your arms, be empty, be in your center, be in the right mind state. Not thinking, what will I do next? Just be there, that Nim Dao mind state. And all the other things we practice just happen. And so Sigmund said, that's number one. Number two, Silnim Dao can exert an internal force. Okay. Silnim Dao can train a concentration of the mind that can control your pulse and your blood flow in your body. Now, I'd never read this before. This is like, what? So Qigong is stating that Silnim Dao can train a concentration of the mind that can control your pulse and your blood flow in your body. Now, that's really cool. That's like full-on ninja stuff. And I'm going to be picking the brains of some of my Chinese friends about this, because it ain't in the curriculum I've been taught, but I believe it. You know, I believe these things. I believe him. He says also, Silnim Dao is on one single spot. You never move 1 inch on your feet. The only attacking hands are one punch and the palm. All of the other movements are for defense. So he's saying Silnim Dao is on one single spot. You never move 1 inch on your feet. So he's talking about the first form, but also this is the power source of all of our Wing Chun. Doesn't matter what form you're doing, is that you've reduced yourself to that center point, that floating point, which is what we practice in Bill G. We sort of get there by practicing Silnim Dao, thinking about a center line, then Chum Kiu, moving it, and then finding that center. So even when we're moving in Chum Kiu, we're still on that point. This is a mental thing. Until you experience it, you mightn't understand what I'm talking about. But it's basically a very strong concentration where you can feel yourself always there. You're not out in your arms. You're sort of always there, and everything else, as I say it, becomes sort of virtual. But controlling the pulse and the blood flow is really very groovy. So he goes on to say, but if the opponent were to come into your range, all you have to do is a little change of the technique, and your defensive technique becomes an attacking technique. Silnim Dao is inclusive of almost all the attacking techniques that you need. All right, so the movements in Silnim Dao have pretty much everything you're going to need to do. And then he says, because the punch and the palm really is all you need, if you can get them right, if you can get them through the opponent's hands and into your opponent. Now this is where it gets to the crux of it. You don't need hooks or low punches to hit your opponent. Once you get into the domain of your opponent's defense, it is easily like cutting bean curd. I love that. It is easily like cutting bean curd. I haven't really cut much bean curd. I've cut a bit of cheese in my time. But cutting bean curd, I guess it's tofu sort of thing, pretty soft. It is a piece of cake if you use the techniques of Silnim Dao correctly. All right, so this is something that nobody really told me this, but it was hinted at by people talking about striking through. Sifus don't have time to tell you everything, and sometimes they might remember this, or they might be keeping it for a bit later. But there's an idea amongst Wing Chun students that we never oppose force, so it tends to set in your mind, at least it did with me, this idea that I should get them out of the way first before I strike, or something like that, because I didn't want to oppose force. And then one day I thought about all the effortless power training we did, and I thought, really, the whole point of this is that I can just carve through the other dude. Doesn't matter what he tries to do. If I can effortlessly have all my weight in my arms, in my palm, in my fist, and I've talked about this ad infinitum about getting your mind into your palms, into your fist. There's the palm, the fist. Getting your mind to that with that yi idea, being in your center, being relaxed, connecting to his center, boom. And that's what Qigong's saying. He says it's easily like cutting bean curd. So, the next time you have to fight a turd, cut him like bean curd. Well, I'll leave you with that. Bye-bye. There's the other one. And I'll see you next time.